give this a go.
Yeah, most definitely. Obviously, they've practiced with this a little bit. And you know what? With how absolutely blazing hot this guy has been, I'm not going to complain about it. You know, when players are showing up the way that they are, the way that he is, let's see what he can do. I noticed, actually, I think he's invested into abilities, and he's also got a ghost. So this could be interesting. You know, Nuki's going to be taking that opening fight and look to really initiate damage on ranged fights, which is perfect for him if he can get up to that 150 health. But it does rely on him hitting these first couple of shots. And see NIP backed up with 3 players towards the B site, and this gamble might just pay off. 2 have been spotted on long now with this flash going out. There we go. And this is where you could see them try to push out Hookah, and the idea is obviously JD catches them off, but that's not happening. Heretics are just bailing out. They're leaving. They're going back towards the A site, which now has only those 2 players. A good opportunity.
Yeah, but one of them being Chihuahua, and look how much information he's managed to garner. Already using the cam to spot out a little bit more, but there haven't been any rotations just yet. I don't know if he actually saw anyone there, so no one's moved. There's only going to be 2 players here, but Chihuahua, maybe he could do it alone. He is a pistol god, but it's not quite the sheriff this time, as he will only take 1 for his troubles.
Oh, hello, Kriya. Nice little one-tap damage done as well. Over towards 2 of these remaining players for Heretics. This could be pretty tough to hold on to. Oh, that paranoia. Not in time, but Lowell saves the day. A shot from afar as JD falls. Lowell up on full health, still with his armor. He's got to be the point man, surely. Avova with 10 HP doesn't stand a chance in a fight. Rhyme already inside that smoke. There's the flash as they push on forward. Lowell, ooh, they gonna go all the way around? That's ballsy, but they're correctly predicting that this won't be a stick. Avova goes in for the info and gets it. Lowell turns up, but there's already 2 looking at him. And Rhyme showing up in the pistol, grabbing himself a double, and the defuse. That's gonna do a lot for his ultimate straight away.
Yeah, I do wonder if maybe being a little bit more patient, but I guess with the fact that the spike was tapped, it almost baits them in a bit, but Lau was only a couple of seconds away from getting the heal, and then it could have been a very different scenario. But nonetheless, again, we're going to see a solid start. NIP get themselves a pistol. I think it's important that they do. Like, after the last map, you've basically been bodied by your opposition. Let's not put it lightly. It was seemingly a fairly easy game for Team Heretics. Now you get to start on the defense. Now you get to be the one potentially putting up those heavy rounds early, and we have to wait and see, okay, now that maybe the firepower has dipped a little bit for Heretics, are they still going to be as scary?
Nice deep flash here from Existence. Another going to pop out as they look to swing on the corner. Avova goes down. There's the Bulldog for the ranged fight. And well handled. Rubino falls. Spike is down. Picked back up by Nukia swiftly as they look to push A. But look at this. A 1v1 fight that could drop the Spike. But if it doesn't, it gives Nukia full HP and a potential weapon to be picked up. Chihuahua, though, he's closing it out. Nice and clean. Out of the TP and into the fray. Nukia, another kill and another heal. Now out of heals completely and out of time as Chihuahua closes the round out. A bit of a messy one there, and a couple of losses taken from NIP.
That was a bit too close. That one had me on the edge of my seat, because Nuki gets another kill there, and well, you're looking at 3 players dropped in a round that's meant to be your bonus. It's meant to be your cash maker. Now, one thing I think that's going to be thoroughly enjoyable about this map is just the way that NIP play the defense. You'll see it across all of their maps, but a lot of them are solid gambles. They're taking risks, they're making pushes, and then they have players like Chihuahua to basically hold down the fort. In fact, you could say that for both teams. Pora is exactly the same. They're going to rely on him heavily. Again, we're going to see a different dynamic push, and already so much coming straight into the face of Nuki gets cleared, but they stop holding. I would have thought they'd be waiting to see if anybody's pushed out of the angle, but instead, he's going to get away with it, and I think he's a little bit lucky.
Yeah, I mean, he stayed inside of it for quite a while, so I'm still surprised they don't hold it till the full thing's gone through, but hey, there's the bonus, right? Nuki's got a smile on his face. They now look for the control inside of the B side, or outside of it, rather, pushing up and starting to position themselves for a nice little push through Hookah. They're going to drone it out. Presumably, Nukia is going to follow that drone in and look to trade out any info that it gets, but nobody's been seen, and now they know that they've got full Hookah control. For NIP, spotting out that drone and a player, this is where you start to, well, especially all those spams, you definitely rotate a player into position. They're pushing up mid on A as well, so they know at this point it is most likely to be a B hit. Final flash gone though, and it doesn't really get them anything. A sideswipe headshot. Ryan wants to come through that smoke, and he's gonna straight go for it, dropping down on their heads. It's like watching Mario upgraded for the 3rd as well, tearing them to shreds. 3-0.
That was sick from Ryman. These are the sort of rounds that were missing from him. And you sort of mentioned it in the midpoint of the round that they had so much information because of that flank. All the players within the site could afford to hold. But at the same time, you were looking at players with SMG, with pieces missing, and they make that look fairly easy, in all honesty. Like that was a solid hold, and Heretics have been put into a bit of a rough spot. It looks like we're about to see a hero rifle. Of course, you can always get baited when it comes to Valorant because they are able to sell their guns, but no. Nuki's going to try and make this one costly. He did well in the last round with just a pistol. Let's see what he can do with a solo Vandal.
If you want it on anyone, it's Nuki, and with his ultimate online, I mean, that spray can be pretty hard to control, but when you master it, it's a killing machine. So many bullets coming out so quickly, and only one needed to the head to get a kill. Speaking of kills, a shock dart one. Now, Jonas is going to be happy with that. JD's coming in, opening things up for the defense. Team Heretics lose a man straight away, but what they lose in manpower, they gain in map control. Pushing out towards the site. That's an unfortunate turn of events. The fight on the side grabs Nuki a kill. He heals up off it. His Empress will last that little longer, but he will not last very long at all. A 3 versus 4 and the retake, I mean, looking favorable for NIP straight away. It's even.
That battle was everything. If Nuki gets the second kill. I do like this, though. They're not actually going to go for the plant. They're going to re-rotate in. If they peek this together, there's a good chance, but Avova just touches the edge of the dark cover, and that's enough for him to go down. Rubino has managed to kill off another one, but they should not be allowed to escape here. Falling all the way back, and in fact, there is no one remaining. They just have to go chasing all the way through A. This has turned into 2 rifles now for the side of Heretics, and a very possible 3v2.
A very possible 3v3, in fact. Lal has got a teammate down in middle that he's slowly moving towards. If he gets there, a res could come through and we could see a very even fight, but that player only has a pistol. Perhaps no. Oh, there's the barrel spotted. Rubino knows that they're pushing through spawn right now. He has the info to play with, but he's being spotted himself. A shock dart through. Lowell falls, and it's all onto this Bulldog. He's going to be shot in the side to close it and put 4 on the board for NIP, showing Heretics what it tastes like to have some of their own medicine.
Yeah, it means that this round, unfortunately, ends basically in the way that we thought it would. But yeah, it got a bit scary, especially when you look at that and go, okay, well, now Nuki's dead. There shouldn't be much of a chance. But they still bring that into a very doable situation, even just with the pistol. So not bad again. The problem now is we're going to start looking at Team Heretics and say, okay, you've done the damage, you've made things costly, you brought these rounds close, but now we actually want to see something placed onto the board. And I think all in all, it's not going to be too bad. Only Nuki, of course, with the extra investment, having to drop down to light armor instead. And again, look at the current setup, Mitch. There are 4 players. It's fully reliant on Chihuahua if they go in the other direction. But this is just going to be some early control. Looking to find a pick and fall back. The problem is the attackers on the other side are actually all pushing through bathrooms.
Yeah, what's particularly scary about this is the bathroom is the area that Chihuahua can't really watch, right? His camera, his tripwires aren't looking at it, but Spike goes down. The smoke from Korea, they will just fall back. They'll concede the control. That might almost sell an extra fake. The Spike's being spotted as they seize more and more control of this A side. But it looks like Heretics want to slowly shift backwards, which is where there could have been even more problems. Avova takes damage with Spike in hand. If that was dropped, you're going to probably look at aggression down middle and a potential guaranteed round for Nip. But instead, they get the wall up and they get the res. And it doesn't... Oh! He's escaped it!
I'm not really sure how. And as said, this was a gamble stack. They kept the majority of their players on B, so the second Chihuahua falls, something that I guess they were almost relying on not happening. This is now a 3 versus 5. Now, 2 players are incredibly low, and some good utility usage could be enough to bring this back, but they need a pick, and they need it fast.
They do, and Avova on 14 HP, he's likely to be the pick that the defenders pick up. Tucked in the corner, but we've seen it before. He has a supportive setup. He has a player ready to take the fight as they swing on out, and it's Nuki in the back lines that grabs one, jumps up to pick the dismiss and bail through the bathroom. NIP realize this 2v5 ain't gonna happen today, and they start to run away, hoping that they get chased so they can at least cause a dent in the Heretics economy, but that doesn't look all too likely. We're looking at 4-1 now. Heretics finally answering back.
I think the only thing that's a bit off about this round for NIP is the fact that they hold that 4-man stack for so long. I got no problem with the initial aggression, got no problem with the fact that, okay, they push through, they get a pick, and then they fall back. the thing that's a bit peculiar is, okay, you've been spotted getting that aggressive. You've lost another player getting that aggressive. They can have a pretty good read that, okay, there's probably at least 3 players on B. The second Chihuahua goes down, this round is over because he's left as that solo site hold. And especially on the A site, that is not an easy task.
And for that very reason, this is why they can't do what they want to do, which is in this position, having 4 players on B or having such heavy B control, you want to push A. When you see so many players, you see the spike, you need to get the info on the other side of the map to confirm whether they're rotating back, and they couldn't do that. And straight away, Ryan goes down in this round, a very aggressive peak with blast packs, but it nets him nothing. And with the man advantage now in their favor, Heretics, we've already seen slow rounds from them. I'm presuming this is going to be yet another. I say that, though, and they've been spotted by the Cypher cam inside of Hookah, so I thought Nuke was going to go super aggressive, but he'll slow it down.
Oh, that's not the peak you want from JD. Gone already. And the rest of the players completely isolated from this round. Sure, they've got a little bit of extra utility to try and slow down the push, but chances of getting back in a slim Chihuahua, though. He actually manages to find the kill onto Nuke. It looked like he was almost dead to rights. It turns into a workable position. The problem is there's no one left to bring back his health. There's no chance of him really doing much more. Has to just go swinging into the site, and it's trades back and forth, which is all Heretics really need. Akuko's even going to throw in the Rolling Thunder, but he doesn't expect the Vova in the corner. And now, last man standing, 1v3. He's got no choice but to escape.
Running for his life here so he can maintain his existence into the next round, and indeed the existence of his weapon. I thought that was a good joke, Tom. Enjoyed it. And yeah, for Heretics...
Now do the same with the Kukos.
Yeah. Well, I'll wait till he gets a clutch and then I'll do it. You know what a Kukos means?
You told me, but I have already forgotten.
It's, as far as I understand, someone on Twitter told me that it's like, no mercy, or something like that. I don't know.
Aren't you best friends? I've heard that you actually don't call him a Kukos. You call him Big Kev.
This rumor was started by Yinsu Collins. I don't know on what basis, but all right.
Big Kev and Little Mitch. I don't know. It has a ring to it.
Well, fortitude, Tom. Let's talk about NIP and Heretics, because I don't like the topics you're bringing up. We got a pause coming in here. It just gives us more time to discuss what we're about to see go down. You know, with the position that Heretics are in, they've built up credits. They've got a lot working for them. And remember, this hasn't been like flat out for NIP. They won the pistol. It was close. Second round, they lose 2 players, so there was a little bit of a dent to their economy. So it did start out well. Heretics have not been silent or asleep during this series. They've been fighting for it, and now with the round starting to swing their way, I put heavy onus on NIP to answer up and show us what they've got, especially as their economy starts to dwindle.
Looking like a pretty quick pace change as well. Ryan again goes for the aggression over towards B long. Starts things off with a pick, and this time they're out of there. I don't think they're going to risk too much more other than some information plays. They've also this time put a second player on A, which means there can't just be a quick switch up from the side of Heretics and move into the other site with less defense. In fact, we're seeing more aggression. Something you mentioned just moments ago. Okay, you found out that there's players over on B. Is there anybody towards A? Well, they know that now as well.
Yeah, this is pretty big. At the position where Heretics lose that opening duel, especially the way that they did, they're at a loss in this round. They were so heavily focused on B that they can't really rotate to A without heavy risks, but the player up close hasn't been spotted. That's a very advanced push, and they're already on the site. 2 quick kills, and it was actually Hookah that was finding that. Nuke just keeps on going. Once confidence comes into his corner, he is unstoppable, and you're seeing it right here and right now. 2 kills on that B entry, and Heretics have got the spike planned with the man advantage.
Incredible. And also Kriya tried to fast rotate there. That also managed to get denied. So he's had to go the old-fashioned way, wrap back around with the one remaining player alongside him, Chihuahua. I don't think they're going to expect this angle from Lau. It almost seems like a little bit of BM just to be sat exactly where the spike is, and he'll peek out and get both kills alongside it. As I said, that is an unorthodox after-plant position, but he manages to make it work. And yeah, I have to look at that round from NIP and go, I almost wonder how that went wrong. Like, it does just seem to be off the straight star power. And it was something I was speaking to you about before the match began, that in terms of players in Europe, in terms of the best players in Europe, I think it'll be hard to find anyone at the moment who's better than Nuki. Like, genuinely, I think the way that he plays his game, be it obviously on Reyna this time or on the Rays, he's so impactful with his entry kills. He puts up ridiculous numbers on this map. I think the last couple of maps he played, 27 and 17, 28 and 13. So not only a star, but a consistent star. And he's someone that NIP desperately need to try and shut down.
Yeah, there's a couple players up there for the discussion, but I 100% agree. Nuke is there. This time, it's actually going to be Avova and Rubino that are finding the openings and pulling it into a man advantage for Heretics. That was the B long push attempted by NIP, but shut down. They're not going to give up, though. They start to push down middle. You know, take my B long, I'll take the B short. And it's Existence who's going to come up on this flank. Akukos, no mercy. Let's see if he gives any quarter to his opponents. That tripwire rather is going to catch him off as he pushes on through. He's going to have to destroy it, and that gives them the information over that there's a flanker. With that, you know, they're not really too worried for now that it's still live. And there we go. It's broken. They'll look at their backs, and Akukos comes around the corner into a more than ready Pora. A free kill, as it were, because he had support from up above. A 2v4 remains, and NIP, they might almost consider the save. Oh, there's someone above. Chihuahua's no idea that's a free kill for Lowell.
I was about to say, good luck saving from there. I don't know how you plan to get out of lamps as a Cypher with no utility left, but it's not going to happen this time, and they're on the hunt. Like, Heretics, well, you said no mercy. It's actually going to go the other way. They want to try and remove every single weapon possible, leave... Actually, I don't know, leaving NIP on pistols actually seems like a worse idea. Let them have the rifles. Don't allow Chihuahua to get himself a sheriff. You don't want to see that happen. So deadly in the last map. I think the thing with this round, though, and it has to be mentioned, Heretics have a very strong default. There's something that, especially if we get into the third map, you'll see, like, they'll hold a lot of the time. If you're going to try the same piece of aggression 3 times... eventually it's going to bite you. And that's something that NIP have been consistently trying, pushing all the way through long. You could see both Avova and Rubino were more than ready for that peak. So I would like to see them maybe be a little bit more dynamic with their aggression, especially because in terms of A long control or bathrooms control, we haven't really seen much of it at all. So I think that's a part of the map that they could almost look to dominate and then maybe gamble an extra rotation over.
We'll see if they make those adjustments as the rounds go on. I mean, we've already hit round number 9. And with the scoreline tied up as it is, that means that NIP, they won the pistol, they won the versus an eco. They've only won 1 buy round. This is the thing. Heretics are looking far stronger in that department, and it's only underlined by that opening duel swinging their way. As they move towards the A site, there's already 3 players in position. They've got aggression down B mid, so NIP have the information that it's not going to be a B hit. There's only 1 place left that it could go towards. With those weaker weapons, though, it's going to be tough to capitalize, and Korea runs right out into the open. The flash, though, completely blinded Nuke. There we go. The return, the dismiss, and he's back over in the corner. Alir up top, but Korea still hits it. Full blind, and he gets the kill. Avova not able to make it away. The nade picks him up, and with that, Spike is on the floor. They wanted to TP to B, but it wasn't possible to retreat, leaving Pora in this, well, I would say unwinnable position of a 1v3.
Yeah, then again, this round in general looked unwinnable for NIP, so let's give him the benefit of the doubt. The 1 versus 3 situation doesn't have a lot of time left, going to try and use the cage to his advantage, but it has almost definitely given away his position. They're going to know exactly where he is, and I like this. The bait and switch, there was no chance for him taking that peak. They had so many players ready and waiting, and JD's going to be there to close out the round. Fantastic stop for NIP, but it's the same again. They're so strong with these pistols. They're so strong at picking players off in sort of awkward battles where they're being a little bit more aggressive, like for example this peak, and well, unfortunately for Heretics, they keep getting caught off by these sort of plays.
It's a real tough one to face into. That nade. Oh, he stuck the plant inside the nade. That's a questionable decision considering it was a 2v3.
Oh, yeah. I think he tried to from the shadows. I think he used his ult, and he got killed by the... Yeah, I think he got stuck because he was using his ult to TP to the other side of the map. Because if you look, he's only got 1... Yeah, he's got 1 wedge left, so that means he only got the one from dying.
Yeah, he must have quickly done it. I saw him planting the spike, and I'm thinking, is he just full committing to it? But all right. Quick transition.
That's really unlucky then, because he must have been maybe under a second away from being on the other side of the map with the spike, and that explains why his teammate went straight through the TP.
Yeah, exactly.
So it makes a lot more sense now what Heretics were trying to do, but they got bitten by the utility usage and, again, the pistols.
I think, yeah, in those situations, though, you got to wait that extra second, make sure that your Omen is safe, although there's nothing they could have done about that nade, really. You can't shoot it, you can't destroy it, you just got to run away. In this position now, you've already done damage to Poor. He's straight up out of this round until that heal comes through and puts him right back up. Should be about 80 before he comes into the fight. Avova picking up the opening, but it's Nuke that I'm a little bit worried about. He's over towards bathroom and looking to push out on these side angles. Chihuahua keeping safe behind that smoke, but it'll only last so long. Avova still pushing forward inside of Lamson, looking for a duel as Pora picks up the 6. Tripwire gets destroyed. He was ready for that, but they knew exactly what was going on. They had the read. There's Nukia finally capitalizing on that position from the early round. And again, I feel like we're in a spot where NIP almost have to save.
Yeah, they don't really have a choice. And again, I don't really think Heretics did anything too complicated in this round. They get 2 opening picks towards Lamps. Now Nuki's like, well, I've popped the Empress, lads. I'm going to go pushing. I've got to try and find a kill or 2 here. I've got to pad those stats a little bit further. As I said, I think his average ACS is something like 270, which I think you're only going to find players like Scream who have higher than that. And, well, Scream might need his teammates to step up a little bit if they're going to go further. Maybe, you know, they could sub in someone like Jonas. Like he could try and teach them a few darts or something. But then again, statistically, I watched a couple of the streams and it seems like Scream had to carry him as well.
I'm looking forward to this death segment now. I'm sure Jonas is going to have some things to fire back, and I'd be careful, man. He can bounce them off all kinds of walls. But
that's true.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if he can't see. We can hit you. 5-5. We're tied up yet again. It's been neck and neck, but in buy rounds, as I said, Heretics have looked better. They've been picking up round after round, whereas NIP got that boost of 4-0 at the very start of the game by winning the pistol and the first buy. For Heretics at this point, it looks very centered around the A side, but they have got a lurker waiting. Why do you need a lurker, though, when you've got Nuke? Just going to run out on site and again shut down Chihuahua. His head-to-heads with Chihuahua now must just be a clean like 5 or 6-0 at this point. Chihuahua's getting shut down on that A hold. They haven't spotted Omen. This is one upside is Kriya playing behind default was completely unchecked. The problem as well is that they're not really pushing forward, so now they'll presume that those players can be anywhere. Is he going to go through the smoke? And he doesn't even get killed. Nukia is he's bulletproof.
He doesn't take a single point of damage. The Rolling Thunder as well we use to force back the remaining players, but Nuki's still here, and he wins a second duel as well. He's taken this into his own hands! A third one for Nuki, and that's round over. This man is unbelievable. Like, we go back to the desk sort of talking about Niso, like, can they fill the void? Well, Nuki was just waiting the whole time, just like, guys, I got this.
It's massive as well. Like, I was saying to you in between this game, Tom, we've talked about it before. If you were to watch anybody to learn how to get better at Valorant, don't watch Nuke, because it feels like he has some... If you were to go through and objectively say each decision, is this good or is this bad? I think you'd highlight bad more than you'd highlight good, but he makes it work. He's so individually skilled, is such a good read. Like, people will look at him and go, oh, okay, so when an Omen smokes bathroom, I'll just shift walk through it, right? No, you're going to die 90% of the time. But Nukia, he turns it into a 3K, wins the round for his team, and forces NIP to save coming into the last round of the half. I mean, this is devastating right now for these defenders, and even saving these weapons might not be possible because look who's coming. It's Nuki. He's up behind looking for a kill. Pora grabs one, but those wall bangs, they don't provide any service. 6-5. One weapon saved over. It's something at least.
Yeah, he's looking to match those stats from before. As I said, 27, 28 kills the last 2 times they played Bind. He's up to 14 already in this half, and the next best fragger is actually Rhyme, who in a lot of the aggressive rounds that he's had over on the defense, he's been very successful. But it's almost looked like over the last few rounds, Heretics have just, either they've been waiting for that aggression on B, or they've left it. And I like the change from NIP. They've realized, okay, we're losing a lot of control over towards the bathrooms. We need to get rid of this one man who's destroying us. And of course, Mitch, if you try to adapt, he's not there anymore. One
thing I want to point out as well is coming into this final round, there's a Bulldog for Chihuahua, and that being shut down by, I think it was Pora, pushing in through elbow. If they didn't lose that extra weapon, they've got a much stronger buy. Nukia, he's in trouble, and he manages to deal damage down to 5 HP, but it's not enough. Akukos will make it out of there and fall back. No Sage for NIP, so there's no heals. He will remain super low, but that Flasher staying alive into the late stage of the round when you've got a man advantage, that is a huge, huge bonus now that could come back to bite Heretics.
Yeah, they need to get the rotation in. They've spotted that every single player was on the other side of the map, but are clearly a bit wary of rotations. But look how aggressive they got elsewhere. Chihuahua with deep control into mid. If they try and wrap back around, they're going to walk straight back into him. And look at his position. If he's going to hear the footsteps, he's going to know that they're coming. If they clear this angle, they've got a bigger brain than I thought. But the paranoia is spot on. 2 quick kills, 30 seconds left. It needs to be a 1 versus 4 for Rubino. And, well, let's be real, that was never going to happen.
No, a little bit too much to ask from Rubino. That is 6-6 now, tied up at the half. A 4-0 lead for NIP, but Heretics did well to get back on the board. There's a lot to be said about this defense, but right there in the last couple of rounds, it looked like NIP really got it figured out.
Yeah, kill Nuki, win round. What do you mean? Honestly, Mitch, I thought it was obvious. Like, the fact that we're actually going to have to hand off to the desk and they're going to have to break this down, like, kill Nuki, win round. That's it. That's what works. And the fact is, the way they did that was 4-man stack. Hey, just put everyone there. Ryan will hold down the fort. And I almost think the Heretics towards the end, like, maybe played themselves a bit, like just trying to go for over rotations. And NIP are not a team that will sit static. Now, we're going to get back into our pistol round. Again, that's been where NIP have done relatively well so far. The pistols have been their friend, that's for sure. But again, they're going to want to get off to a strong start in this second half.
Yeah, they absolutely are. Winning the pistol, we've already seen the benefits that it can do, or give rewards you can reap. You manage to find the follow-up as well. Big leg up in the half. Nukie going aggressive, no surprise there. Lots of player in bathroom and decides to back off afterwards, not wanting to overstay his welcome. There's 3 players towards the A site, but very little information to play with on B. What I do like, though, is that Pora, I think they threw some utility through the TP. He's just managed to make his way in.
Yeah, look at his cam as well. This is so sick. He's got the cam so he can spot if anybody's crossing and then can peek back out of the TP with the information already in hand. This is such a dirty setup coming out from Pora. Like, I almost want to call him a rat at this stage because it's just so filthy that if they try and cross that spot, it's going to be rough. Now already, they're going to be stuck in mid, and Nuki this time is going to get punished. His aggression shut down, and the rotation has to come back in, putting 2 players at least on A, but not in the best of positions. JD as well gets the rotation onto Pora. This is looking good for Nip.
Cutting off the flanker, very valuable kill for NIP. Avova wants to try to pull it back. He's taking a risk, and it doesn't pay off. NIP picking every single kill in this round. Akukos in for 4 to close out the pistol. It's flawless from NIP, and that's the kind of start they wanted.
That was just like, I love the setup that the Heretics had, but again, it's just patience, and I think that's one of the things that NIP maybe do better than anyone else. Like just having these pace switch ups, having these slow defaults when they need it, and then switching things up into a faster round to try and catch their opponents off guard. It's something Existence has been doing for years across different games, and I'm looking forward to the future of this roster and seeing that once again. Now, again, they got to be a bit careful of the pistols, but there's only 1 really invested here. So unless Nuki really is going to put everybody in his Dora the Explorer backpack and carry them through this round, I don't think we're going to see much here from Heretics.
Looking into the previous map, you know, when Heretics were picking up rounds, they were picking up a lot of them. You know, you had those 5- and 4-round win streaks again and again. We know that once they pick up a little bit of slack here, they'll just keep on exploiting it. But NIP, the faster pace in the pistol, and towards the end of Split, they started to get a handle on it a little bit too late. Let's see if they keep with the same mode of aggression. And this, what? That's a collateral for Nukie. He picks up 2, bathroom wide open, and NIP falling apart right away. That is a hurdle they have to overcome. Rubino down low, down goes Pora. Okay, it looks like NIP have recovered this. All 3 players inside of Lamps. Do you expect that? Probably not. Lowell's caught out. JD grabs another, but Avova on 11 HP. Surely they're not checking it, but indeed, they still are. How he gets a kill out of that, I do not know. But For this round, for what was in it to come out with 3 kills, Tom, they might not have a round on the board, but I think they won that one. Oh, stop, man.
Can we say it one more time? Let's wheel it back. I need that again. That is absolutely ridiculous. Like that's one of those things that you're not going to see very often, and more importantly, it had to be him. It had to be him. He currently has more than double the kills of anyone else on his team. Like it's truly ridiculous, and it's one of those positions. The last map, it has to be mentioned that the Heretics did win both pistols, so they got themselves off to a fantastic start. This time they've lost both pistols and had to fight back. We'll see if they can do it again in the second half. Now we are going to see a lot of information being garnered from the attack inside. They're going to go pushing all the way up into B long. Now, this isn't so much of a bonus round because they've reinvested into a lot of rifles based off losing 3 players in the last round. So financially in the next, NIP would be rough. So if they lose this round, we could be seeing things leveled very easily.
And that's the benefit of Heretics so far in this map. I mean, they got 2 kills after the pistol in the first half, and then they've managed to do one better with the 3K in this. So 100% agree. This is a very important round for NIP to get on the board. Now you've got lots of tripwires sitting inside of Bath. As they push on forward, those will not be detected. Okay. So JD manages to spot the player deep, but they won't use any shock darts to destroy these. As they move forward, there's 1 destroyed, 2 as well. They're being quite cautious. Freya manages to pick up Nuke, a valuable player to drop straight away. The wall up gives Lowell a nice angle, but he's being spotted. Wants to fall back, but he can't get out. JD's watching the cross and ready to take that fight. 2-man advantage now, as NIP just completely shred them. Look at that. A nice 3K from JD. He picked up the player. It was Lowell trying to leave lamps and swings into heavy traffic from spawn and capitalizes on them both. That was a big round for Heretics if they won it, but now NIP secure themselves a 3-round lead.
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed we didn't see the guys at Heretics almost try and wait for a retake there. Like, if they can manage to hold on to the bathrooms, they have much more of an opportunity with the players rotating in. Instead, it ended a bit disjointed. Like, they tried to fight, then we saw Lau try to fight, and then the remaining 2 players, it's like, well, what can you really expect them to do? They're in a ridiculous scenario at that point. So, NIP do well to isolate the duels, but I kind of hope for Heretics that they would try and play that one a little bit more together. But we'll see if they can fix that going into the future rounds. It's again going to be some pistols, and again, they're going to take a lot of map control, already deep in towards A bathrooms, but there was a cam. Nuki again! Alright, just maybe this man's looking to try and take Chihuahua's crown. This would be a bit of an ask. What is that? This doesn't make any sense. That gun is not meant to work like that.
I really thought, here's a collat. You know, it's coming. I could feel it. After that, let's see what the rest of his team can do, because they're no... Hold on. Lowell? He doesn't know the player's crossed, and he still gets it. Come on. No slackers on this team for sure. 2-man advantage to play with now for Heretics as they look fondly towards this site. A smoke down paranoia perfectly hits, and Kriya's in danger, swinging into heavy traffic again, leaving a Kukos to do it all. The spike down and marked. He's spraying away, and the first is found. I don't think they got that halfway. He has Rolling Thunder to play with, but he didn't realize the smoke was about to go. Mistimed. And misfired. He's out of here. 9-7.
Thrifty.
See, this is one of the rounds when, like, I'm given the job as color caster, and I don't know what to say, because that round was 4 kills with sheriff headshots, and the 5th was a vandal headshot. So basically, Heretics just headshotted anyone that walked into their path. It's unbelievable stuff. Like, towards the end, you can give them credit. The use of the paranoia, the swing together, good synergy from the team. But other than that, again, Nuki pulling off ridiculous things. He's got 5,892 combat score. No one else is even close. And even if you don't understand the mathematics that's put into making a combat score, it doesn't matter. That's a fantastic start, though. I think that's gone a little bit wrong with the early stage war. They did this previously to try and shut down map control. We saw it on the last map of Split, where they would do this towards A to try and deny any sort of lurk. I don't know if that's, again, a read coming out. Rhyme just trying to get further in front of it, but he's done a great job to start things off, especially when there's a res in play.
Yeah, this is definitely something that Heretics like to do, wall off parts of the map where there's an ult orb and grab that ult orb for their Sage. Now, Lowell has it because he's dead, but it's not much use. Can't res yourself, unfortunately, and there's no jet to revive him. As Heretics looking towards this A site with a 3-man stack, it's actually B that's going to be pressured, and that makes it very, very difficult to get back in. I mean, this is a full buy round. NIP looking to clock this up. Rolling Thunder even committed to shut down Elbow. They've got sight. They should be easily able to get a plant out of this one, and Rhyme knows there's a flank coming in. Whiffs the initial shot, but gets it in the end. Pora not able to connect, and, well, we might need another hero play from Nukie. This story certainly lacking a hero right now for Heretics as he doesn't push out because he gets slowed a little bit. But here he comes. Out the corner, out the side, and down he goes. NIP are here to play, and it is one man left alive. You said the 1v4 earlier was undoable, never going to happen in that 12th round of the previous halftime. Well, how do you feel about his 1v5 chances? You think he's made the right call?
For the gifted subs, right? I've heard that there was an offer from Jonas. Like, surely this should be his moment to shine.
True.
Pulling out some... Then again, he doesn't really have much utility left, so I don't know what he's really going to do there. But yeah, fantastic take from NIP, denying any chance for Pora. He's someone who will consistently try and hold on to Elbow, especially when he knows that his team are coming around for a retake. And you could see Akukos was more than aware of that, putting fault lines through, trying to deny any control he could possibly take. And by the time he finally gets a peek, it's already over. The round is done. So good call from them. I think the entry as well on the other side of the map really helped them out. Like, if you're able to catch Lau and basically almost hold an extra couple of players there, because you know that the plan from Heretics is, okay, we wall this and then we leave maybe one player there because we don't need to have this full defense anymore because they can't get through the bathrooms. Well, you can't do that anymore because you've already lost the man who did it.
Looking over towards this spawn here is a bit of a jumble up for Heretics. You know, they've called a pause. They're going to be looking into this round. Presumably it's a tactical. They want to figure out exactly what they're doing. And I think that even came down to which agents were going where. A little bit of a conversation around it. Now, a 2-man passive A-hold. Well, I say passive. We don't know that it's actually going to be a passive one, right? With how Lau's like to push forward, but I'd be surprised in this round because he has the res. I don't want to see him playing super aggressive. I don't want to see him going for the ult orb control unless Nukie's there with him to try and grab it. And of course, yeah, as you mentioned, Tom, an operator in the hands of Nukie. You don't typically see it on your Reyna, but hey, he's capable. We know that for sure.
It's one of those sort of positions where I think, why not? Like, if you're able to take a peek, dismiss, that's perfect. That's literally an Oppa's dream, just to get out of there as quickly as possible and have 0% chance of dying. It also completely changes the dynamic of the round. Now, we're going to see this same play again. They're going to have the deep wall, and then control of mid is going to be taken by Nuki. By the looks of things, they at least initially tried to fake things out towards B, and it's worked. Look at this rotation. I mentioned it in the last round. The plan would be to leave one player behind. Well, that's exactly what they've done. And I feel like NIP are almost trying to play into this. They've conditioned them into a rotation, and now they have the A site for free.
Lowell took the ult orb as well. He took it to bait them into thinking, okay, this is aggressive bathroom, let's push mid and go right into the operator, but Nuki didn't get the opportunity. They're going to go all the way through. They're going to keep on sending it, and Pora caught completely off guard. That flash does catch them, the Leer blinding some, and it's just to keep them back from pushing while the res comes through. Now that they've got nothing really for that ultimate, it's time to make a move forward. They've committed to this round. They want to get something, but Ryan slows them down. Hunter's Fury crowd controls them into heaven, or at least that was the hope. Ryan not able to capitalize, but JD picks up one. Man advantage no longer in play. It's equalized instantly, but Avova from behind flanks out, grabs himself a kill to push forward. Rabino in with another. They're clearing out lamps one at a time. Akukos, one of the last standing beacons, and now the final. A 1v2, but time so low. Into the op he goes. Easy kill, and they don't get it halfway. No time because of it, and that's the round for NIP. Akukos winning that one pretty much single-handedly with the control over lamps.
How is that so close? That was almost a 5v5 retake with probably like 10 to 15 seconds already gone off the clock when it started. I honestly don't know how NIP lose so many players towards the end of it, but a nice try from Heretics. The problem is that's not really going to help them out too much. No operator left in play. I also have to give credit over to NIP for the way they started that round. They played it identically to the way they did the last, and then threw in a quick rotation back towards A. It was a complete bait, like going, oh, okay, like last round, we went towards A long, and then we went back. Well, this time, we're not going to go back. We'll go all the way, we'll throw some utility, and then we'll fall into this A A site now. Look at Nuki. These are the sort of plays that are truly terrifying. He's been spotted by the cam, though. That's something that Chihuahua has been placing there every single round so that they know there hasn't been anybody pushing this far forward. This time they have an idea. A risky jump peek. Maybe trying to bait him for his teammate, but Nuki, he's happy to just hold his ground.
Confidence the dismiss gives you, but he needs to win the fight first, down to 43 HP with Sage on the site to revive. Does he fall back here or stand his ground even more so? And it looks like the latter is going to be the response. Bullets whizzing past his head. He hears the reload, wants to go for it, but he can't see the player now safely behind the box. Moves up and gets an advanced position, and there's no way, surely no way, that they expect him here, although it looked like Existence was going to clear it for a second. He does, but right into Nukia's bullets he goes. Man advantage sitting over for the defenders. Heretics have struggled so far. NIP are starting to pick them apart. And again, we see a rotate from B begin. They're looking at the B site fondly.
30 seconds left.
Well, they've heard Rhyme into hookah. The rest of the team are going to make their move. He bounces through and actually gets caught by the paranoia. Pora again, I said, he's always in this position. It's something they have to expect. Looking to try and deny the plant. There's only 15 seconds left as it looks to come through and Kriya. He's trying to hold the line. Finds the first kill. Actually gets a second as well. The Omen's gone huge in making this look possible, but Lau turns the tide once again, leaving it on to just him. Needing to try and bring this back. No res in play as he looks for the 1v2. The timing looked like it was perfect for JD, but instead he's found the kill, leaving just Chihuahua remaining. His utility's not going to help him out this time, but again, the time is ticking away. Looking to try and get this one half, which will be successful. The wallbang still possible here, but he's hiding in the corner and Lau's going to do it. The clutch, the 4K, and a round win for Heretics.
An absolute catastrophe for NIP. They were looking at map point and a probable third. All they had to do was shut down Lal, but he comes out with all 4 kills in a 2v4. Unbelievable work being done by Loud. He didn't even need to heal up as well. This was so well played. Textbook, getting it halfway, baiting the player into going for the wall bangs, and as he swings and thinks maybe this is staying stuck, boom, cleaned up. That was unbelievable. And the amount of depth that Heretics have, you can look at Nukia, you can look at Lowell, and then what we saw earlier, Niso, as players that can definitely make these 1vx clutches work. And for NIP, we're not seeing it today. They're much quieter than what we expect.
I'm perplexed as to how JD doesn't get him as well. It was like he was waiting for that peak to come through. And Nuki's actually going to ping the cam. And NIP, after what has been them holding outside of A, are actually going to go for a push in that direction, but they have to make it quick now. They've already lost their flanker. They've lost their hold. Chihuahua not going to be able to stop rotations, so they have to go into this site.
Rolling Thunder going to catch out one, but Rabino's quick to respond, slowing down the aggression through Bath, getting tags galore as Akukos is 24 health remaining. IGL of Existence, as he's also known. Shock Dart onto JD doesn't do that much. Existence is on his way back towards the spawn, a very, very long rotate. He doesn't want to give away any sound cues, but unfortunately, he's now being found, and maybe you'll even have Heretics scratching their head a bit going, why is he in spawn? Is he AFK? Certainly in a ranked game, you're going to be rushing down spawn, and that could be Nukia's flaw. He starts to move forward and a sideswipe's coming in, but of course he wins that. With Existence on 24 HP and the spike dropped, this round is now out of NIP's hands, out of their control, and Nukia just keeps on going. Ult online and a 3K to put 9 on the board for Heretics.
It must be so frustrating being on the other side of that, because especially when you know players like JD, for example, like Chihuahua, like Rhyme, we're talking about them as star players. Like they can all pull these rounds out themselves, and then you're holding an angle waiting for someone to peek, and he does that to you. Like, it's just going to be so demoralizing. 23 kills at the moment for Nuki, and sure, they are still currently losing this map, but there's no doubt that this is his playground, this is his choice. Now we're back to what is a half buy. A few pieces invested for NIP, but we know what they can do with these sort of rounds. And considering the scoreline, if they can steal themselves a 12th here, it would be a miracle.
Yeah, remember the implications of winning this one here. If Heretics get this map, it's over, and NIP go to the lower bracket. They do not want that. Nade,
What?
pistol shots everywhere. We're watching Nuke. We're on board with them, ready for that big play to happen that we've seen again and again, but somehow on this extremely low buy, they make it work, pick up 3 weapons, and Heretics, within the first 20 seconds, it looks like they're gonna save. Unbelievable.
How? Like, we only saw it from the perspective of Nuki, and I know there's been people in chat talking about observing. You can't blame a thing there. Like, you want to be watching the man. He's popped an Empress. He's been the best player in the entire map. He's holding an angle. Dead.
Here he comes.
Then 2 other players died to a Sheriff and a Classic. Like, what?
Yeah, you know,
How does that round come
especially with how this guy's been playing, right? And I mean, I don't want to focus too much on Nuke because, I mean, I can't really blame him. The dude gets naded on one side, shot on the other. What can you do? He thought that nade had a little bit less range than it did, and I think we've all been victims of that in the past. Right now, look at the scoreboard down the bottom. 23 kills for Nuke. He has been dominating in a game that they are losing and that they're set to lose. Now, 3 rounds needed for Heretics to get back into this, and that sheer Tom, it's exactly what you talked about. The sheer pace of that round. NIP rush out B. They don't give any solace, they don't give any room, and they definitely don't take any surrender.
Oh, I wonder if they might go for something similar again. They've been good in these faster rounds at getting after plant positions. Again, we're going to see an early stack up in towards B long. Also some aggression coming down from Lau. It's been the same play every time. The wall will go forward. Nuki, though, he's in a different spot this time, and the dismiss. It almost feels like cheating when you get away with that, looking in your opponent's eyes and just dismissing them, moving away. Well, Rhyme, unfortunately, he's the one to take the brunt of that pick. It does mean that Nuki hasn't healed, and Chihuahua, he's found an important pick, but he does not expect Avova to still be there. They're going to need to clear this angle with Nuki being brought back from the fray. Will he survive? No.
That was the weirdest res I've ever seen. Usually you'll use that to bait out, but they just kind of went, you're going to die here, bro. We got to hurt your stats a little bit. Oh, no.
Oh.
He got the kill right on him as well. Robin Hood from JD. It's a 1v2 thanks to that. And if Korea can just get that spike, he could TP out of here. But he spots the head, but he's been spotted as well. That jump peek a little dangerous. No paranoia. 3 seconds to a smoke. He spots the player out, but Poor is quick to hit the shot. 10 on the board for Team Heretics, despite what is one of the first Robin Hood plays I've really seen. JD just jumping around, throwing the arrow. There's a guy that can do that in real life. I don't know if you've seen him, but he's like an acrobat and an archer. Fires 3 arrows in a second. It's unbelievable. Or 0.6 of a second, actually. It's unbelievable.
I think you showed me that video.
He's doing like backflips and firing accurately. It's crazy, dude. I tried to do it. I hurt myself instantly.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure Jonas is going to go and put that one in his playbook. He's like, okay, so I jump backwards and just fire the arrow straight at his face. It worked, so you can't really say too much. He did also die. Now, we're going to see another pause taken. At 12-10, NIP have definitely done better with these sort of almost brute force rounds, like these faster, aggressive plays. Decent utility, of course. I feel like brute force normally suggests that a team hasn't got tactics in the round. No, but the pace just seems to catch Heretics off guard. It doesn't allow for people like Nuki to push and probe and find picks because of how fast these openers have become. Now, again, you can almost ignore the fact that on the attack right now, Chihuahua's on the other side of the map. It's the 3/4 players that we're going to have pushing aggressively towards this B site in the early stages you want to focus on.
We were on board with Nuke before, and we saw it be a disaster. There's a nice angle on Lal doing what we were talking about, right? What Heretics love to do, wall off those old orbs and take control. It's a worthwhile investment, man. You know, versus a full buy, that wall doesn't get you that much value. They'll break it very quickly. It can get you some good angles to play off of, but that ult orb is far more valuable. I love that approach from Heretics, and they do it so often. We saw Nuke go for a little bit of aggression out B mid, but he didn't see anybody at all. He now decides to fall on back after being tagged up, hoping no one had seen him in the little corner. Although, I will say, after spotting him and after applying pressure to long, which they're still doing with Korea, they've just shifted their position yet again. Existence seems to love calling for these flank plays, but what could be a problem, this man right here, Nuke, he's coming down at just the right time to catch them unaware. There's one in front of him, easy kill and dismiss out, ready for another fight, and they just avoid it. They're going to run to the A site.
Yeah, this is the problem most of the time as well, as it allows for this gamble stack to occur. You can see
30
three
seconds
players
left.
already there. Korea, he's trying his best. He's selling a fake. He's actually baited one player over in the rotation, and a second starting to become tempted as well. But it will now be this push into the A site. The rest of the team making their move. Rhyme leading the charge with the showstopper, but he's got stuck, and now in a cage as well. The utility is spot on from the defense. They're being held, and a Kukos, he gives it an attempt, but it's not going to be anything. Those cages were just perfect from Pora. Didn't stand a chance in hell.
No way to get out of that one, really. Just textbook defense from Team Heretics. Even though they'd been baited into rotations, they still make it work with that strong A hold, thanks to still having 2 players on site. Now for NIP, it's time to make it work, man. They're looking for a map 3. They want to make it through to playoffs right away, and they would have to win this map and the next. If this goes to OT after the comeback Heretics have mounted, this could be the mentality of NIP broken. This is high risk now. They need to win this buy round, and already you're seeing weaknesses with Bulldogs in play off the bat for NIP. The tough one to make work, and it looks like we might see a faster paced round, the B side under heavy threat.
Yeah, this is where they thrived, but there are 3 players waiting. This time, they have the long control ready. It is going to be the ultimates put in, but it's a quick trade. Again, Nuki's still trying to hold the line, but he falls. They've managed to garner an advantage, but there's already a fast flank.
Yeah, Avova's in position. I don't know that they're ready for this one. Spike on the site. Avova can easily take him down as soon as he goes for an open plant, or if he goes inside the tube, it's a little risky. Waiting. Oh, hold on. Heretics, they've been sold a fake. They're rotating back towards the A site. Avova picks up 1, but now he moves towards the site, maybe unaware the players are still here. The other 2 on the A site, and this will be a free plant for NIP and a 3 versus 2 retake for Heretics. Ultimate almost online for Lal if he gets just 1 kill, but nobody really in an easy position to res. This is going to be so hard to make work, and NIP can just play time. They've got great post-plant positions, and Heretics have no information to play off of. The camera destroyed from Pora. 30 seconds till it's back online. It's out of the round, and they need to force a fight. They need to find a victim now or never. As Lal makes his way in, he's tagged up heavily on his way through to hookah. Heals himself. Flank on the way in the form of a Kukos. Time is low. Ult comes through. Everything is stacked against Heretics. And Tom, this is it. This is the end of the game. 13-11. NIP take it across the line. We are going to map number 3.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, even my butt cheeks were a little clenched for them there. That came ridiculously close, especially